All right, here we go. Go Sports Radio. Carver and Cuthbert here with you. Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island on a beautiful doors open Thursday. How about that, Paulie? Doors open on
I love doors open Thursdays.
Doors open Thursdays down here at Borrelli's Taproom. That's how nice it is. We went out getting the walk, and I don't have to complain about cold weather like I've been doing the last several months. So it's nice to actually have a beautiful Thursday. We got Yankee baseball in the afternoon, 1:35 start for the Yankees at home. As they got a little, I guess you could say a little lucky last night.
Muy lucky.
A little lucky.
Muy lucky.
Okay, that's fine. We can call it. We can call it whatever you want to call it. So we have the Yankees looking to take 3 out of 4 from the Angels. We've got the Mets who have now lost. I can't even really count anymore. 3, 6,
A lot.
8 in a row.
A lot.
As they head to Chicago to see the Cubs this weekend, swept in Los Angeles. There's no better place to have a day off than Chicago. Clear the head. One of the best towns in major leagues to
Especially this time of year.
have a day off is in Chicago before you hit Wrigley for the Businessman Special tomorrow afternoon. That is the Friday afternoon Cubs home game always. They always play it 1 o'clock local.
Cheers, bro.
Oh, there you go. You want to get that going on? It's
It is Thursday.
remember Miller Lite, say Carver and Cuthbert podcast here at Borrelli's, and you get that. Several things to accomplish today, Paul. We have the Mets and the Yankees to talk about. We have got the NHL playoffs starting this weekend. We've got the NBA playoffs starting. Incredible performance from Steph Curry last night, 35 points to lead the Warriors to an upset win over the Clippers, which gets them another game tomorrow night in Phoenix against the Suns. You have got the NFL draft next week. You have got just so much going on. It is great to see you. Mike Carver along with Paul Cuthbert. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Happy Thursday, buddy. Happy, beautiful day here. And you got to figure the owner of the Clippers laid out a lot of money for that building.
Oh, Ballmer?
Gorgeous building.
Yeah.
And, not to get to use it for first round of the NBA playoffs. It's got to be a bit of a stinker for him.
You know, I was gonna
Get a little money back.
probably
for building
save this for later on when we get to it. But you know, you talk about a disaster, and look, the Clippers are, unfortunately, they are one of those teams in all of professional sports. There are some teams, and I say this about the Jets a lot. I know I say Jet always Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Clipper are the same way. Clipper will always Clipper. It doesn't matter. I mean, they even get, it's like the Jet. They even get a new $1 billion owner in Steve Ballmer, whatever that was, 5-6 years ago at this point. I forget how long Ballmer's been the owner. Even he can't change the problem. They get a guy in Kawhi. They get a guy or sign Kawhi Leonard, who's been a multiple-time NBA Finals MVP in both San Antonio and Toronto, thinking this is the guy. And what happened? They haven't done anything. They've been knocked out every year with Kawhi. They trade for Paul George, and who do they trade Paul George for? A guy who now is like one of the 2 or 3 best players in the NBA and SGA. And Paul George, they don't win anything with him, and eventually he's gone. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. You just spent
Money can't buy everything.
Beautiful new building into a dome
State of the art.
in Inglewood. It's incredible, that place. Doesn't matter. You can change the owner. You can change the arena. You can change the players. It's just, they're one of those teams, just like the Jets. Clipper will always Clipper.
It's a concert building, just like UBS is now. It's a concert building. Same with MSG.
Well, that
And the
ain't
Prudential
that ain't
Center.
right.
All concert venues right now.
They're all every arena in the New York area is a concert arena now because there's no hockey in any of them. Well, MSG's got the Knicks, Paulie. You got Knicks games coming up this weekend and then throughout the playoffs, so it's not completely shut down.
Yeah, I tell you, man, that's it's hurting too for the Islanders too, man. That's a brand new building. Not having it open in the springtime is.
Did you?
hockey.
I'll get to it later. We'll talk about
All right,
Darsh.
I know I'm jumping around here a little bit.
It's
There's
okay.
so much
It's
going
the
on,
open.
you know?
There's so much going on because Darsh gave you a good 30 minutes yesterday on the end of the
I didn't
Islanders
see it.
season.
I didn't
On
see
the end of
it.
the Islanders
So I'm
season.
looking forward to hear what you got to take on it.
This Darsh, he's got a big mess to clean up after this year. He really does. I've had enough of him already. It's only been one season.
Wow.
Jet gonna Jet, Clipper gonna Clipper. There's a few, Eddie, that are in that pile. Brown will always Brown in the NFL as well. The Browns are part of that.
See, if Eddie was here, we could send him over a Miller Lite draft. We got him down here.
If Eddie was here, you could send him. He's been here though.
I know.
Eddie has
Get
been
him
in the
back.
house before,
Go.
so it's when you come down, you get the Miller Lite draft, which is very, very good to see. All right, Yankees are playing at 1:30, Paulie, and
Yeah. So
as much as and it was so rare for you yesterday to slam them, which is just something that you never do. I'm usually the one who, I was
it's on
say,
tape forever now.
I would just say I was right for the last few months in the offseason that it was going to be tough. But
Yeah.
despite all of that,
Took off me to come around.
they got extremely lucky last night because the Angels couldn't catch a pop-up. which opened the door for the ninth inning rally that allows the Yankees to win this game and now have the opportunity to take 3 out of 4 from the Angels at home. And you just kind of sit around for the last 3 nights thinking about how all these games went. To think that they can win 3 out of 4 from this team is pretty ridiculous.
To think that they're going to need luck to help them win 3 out of 4.
Well, look, you know
instead
what?
of playing good baseball.
That's fine and good, and you can say that, but you know, there's nothing wrong with getting a few of those throughout the course of 162.
Win today,
and sometimes
sweep the Royals, and let's see what.
Geez, I mean, you know, we get through today first.
I know. Well, isn't that terrible? That's what I was talking about yesterday. That's why I'm losing my cool
today. You think maybe they could keep Trout from hitting a homer today?
Yeah,
maybe.
Nice.
Got 4 homers the last 3 days.
He's having a good week in New York.
Him and Judge, the little mano a mano this week has been fun.
Yeah.
That's been nice. If you weren't like a Yankee fan and stressed out about how much they stink and how bad the week's been, I guess taking in the whole Judge versus Trout stuff is.
And I guess we're lucky too, because it's really not as bad as what's going on in Queens.
Well, it isn't, and all because of that. I mean,
so I guess I'm grateful to be a Yankee fan.
Think about
despite all their
11-8, if they win today, looks a lot better than 9-10 or whatever. You know, what a 10-10, whatever. You know, 10-9.
Mm-hmm.
It just, you have to put it in perspective sometimes and look at how all these things go.
Yes.
But very, very lucky. Man, that Romano for the Angels, he stinks. I'm surprised they brought him in the game. You know, he yacked it up on Monday night for them. To have him then come in and do it again last night, just way too much for them.
And I think the Angels have to throw a bullpen game tonight too.
They are. They got the suitor that's going to start, and it's going to be all just basically bullpen arms. And it's another opportunity, another great hitting day out here where they should be able to put some runs on the board this afternoon, and they should be able. And here's the other key, along with having the Angels throw a bullpen game where you think you should be able to score, you have your stopper on the mound and Fried this afternoon.
Yes,
so that also should be something that kind of.
You're telling me it's a lock today?
Well, I would never say that in baseball. Nothing is ever a lock. Was it a lock when the Padres were up 6-0 last night? Or excuse me, Seattle was up 6-0 at the Padres last night and they lost 7-6. It's never over, Paulie, till it's over.
How far are the Padres behind?
Well, they've won like 7 or 8 in a row now, the Padres. They've been smoking hot.
I think I called before baseball started. I want the Padres to win that division.
Well, they got out to a slow start, but they've come home this week and they've played much better.
Got a good team, man.
They do have a good team.
Who's the kid who's big starter for them? Played for the U.S. team, right?
Jackson Merrill, who you?
I think that's who it is.
Who was on the U.S. team? Oh, Machado. Well, Machado was obviously on DR, but
pitcher.
Oh, Mason Miller.
There you go.
Mason Miller, the closer.
I knew you would know.
Which is out. He's outstanding. Yes. Of course, done an
Standings,
incredible job.
Standings. Let's see.
But
what's
hey,
going on here.
This is. And you said they're playing Kansas City this weekend. The Yankees.
2 back of the Dodgers.
Dodgers don't lose either, which is.
Well, Dodgers have had a pretty decent schedule
here
too.
I usually do this to you on the last show of the week, which today is obviously on a Thursday. So they're playing an afternoon game against the Angels. We'll give them that one. With Fried pitching and the way that they've gone. KC this weekend, home, 3 games.
Got to sweep them.
No, you got to stop with that. You see, this is where you get yourself in trouble all the time. Stop saying with the better sweep them.
Come on, there's
2 out of 3,
3 3-7 in the
2
last
out of 3.
10.
2 out of 3.
You gotta
2 out of 3.
Gotta beat the Royals.
You need to stay on the path here. You get too far off doing the better, and you don't even say they should sweep them. You say better sweep. Throw the better in there, which is not the way to go.
Better team. They should be the better team.
Yeah.
At home in the Bronx.
They should be. You're right. And then they're in Boston next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Even a bigger reason they need to sweep.
So we'll get
KC
to have some.
We'll
get to have some fun with that.
Play that other bad team in Boston, who they need to beat as well.
We'll have some fun with that Wednesday when we come back. Obviously, Yankees Sox. Go Sox.
Is that a night
Sox. Game? They're playing night Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all night games throughout next. They don't play Yankee Sox games in the afternoon, Paul. That's too much TV. How many of those are national TV next week? TBS on Tuesday, MLB Network Wednesday, Fox on Thursday. National TV for all 3 games. Boom, boom, boom. Right out of the chute for the Yankees and the Sox next week. Of course, on the other side of the coin, locally, is that the Mets have now lost 8 in a row. And Ohtani with 10 strikeouts last night, 8-2. You had the grand slam from rushing off of Devin Williams. It's just
Is the season over?
no, it's not over. It's April. You can never say that. But as I said to you yesterday, I think we're going to get closer and closer to Carlos Mendoza being the first manager who gets fired in Major League Baseball this year, because with the expectations and with the offseason money spent and with needing to get out to a good start, there was talking maybe would have been out even before the end of, after last season, the way that things went.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that he needs to pick things up in a very, very quick fashion here to get it going. So, and look, when you're slumping the way that they were coming into this week, which they had lost obviously 5 in a row before they went to LA, it is the last place that you want to go when you're not playing well. You're talking about the best team in baseball in their house where they rarely ever lose. And you face 2 of them. I mean, you faced Yamamoto, you faced Ohtani. I mean, you got Mo. That is as tough as they. Look at that, the Nick flag with the 1800 tequila sign. I like that. Look at this.
Yeah,
Bring
put it
that
on
in,
there. There you
Tommy.
go.
Look at this.
Look at
There
this.
you go.
There you go.
How about that? As you get ready.
Nice. Thanks to our friend Chris from 1800 Tequila.
Look at that.
Nice.
Good
What's
job,
going on,
Chris,
Chris?
with the Nick flag. As
Love
we
it.
get ready down here at Borrelli's for Knicks Hawks game 1 coming up this weekend. That is outstanding with that. How about that, boy? The big Nick 1800 tequila flag. I like
Brothers
that.
doesn't mess around. They get the good stuff down here.
They get all the good stuff
All the
down
good
here.
stuff
It's
down
out. It's great.
I might have to take one of those home later. But now I know where the box is.
now you do know where all of that. And here's the news for them now. They will go to Chicago this weekend. So they will see the Cubs in the businessman special.
Last night on the man.
Smashed.
Yeah.
Smashed.
Hate to see it.
He stinks, Paulie. You know that.
How's Clay Holmes doing when I'm on the mound?
I'm surprised he pitched last night. He left the game hurt over the weekend, and then they started him. But they got no options right now. I mean,
How's Weaver doing for him?
I don't think he's having a good start
Yeah,
either.
no. Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's having a good start for them.
Well, there might be some more Yankees that the Mets might get here soon too, because there's a few Yankees.
Does it bother you that they have so many former Yankees on the team? Is that what you're getting at with that comment?
No, not necessarily with the guys. I look at it this way: the guys who left the Yankees for what they thought were greener pastures, and it's not going so well.
Well, I mean, it's 1 month,
Hey, you're way too laid back on this for me, man. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Again, you got me yesterday because the Rice thing really bothered the hell out of me.
Yes.
That really bothered me.
Turns out about a lot of people.
Why Rice couldn't
checked out your comments yesterday on that.
well, look, it's true. So, he's your second best hitter on the team.
We all agree with
Why
you.
the hell is he not in the lineup every single day? Once in a really, really tough lefty, you want to say, okay, I can maybe stomach that. But back-to-back nights, Kikuchi and Reed Detmers
Boone knows.
playing today, bullpen game
Boone's
lefty.
got it in control. guess.
Senga and Cabrera tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley for the Mets and the Cubs. I mean, the Mets are on just life support.
How the Cubbies doing?
Senga they just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies in Philadelphia. Right, Tommy? They just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. And they scored a ton of runs in doing that. I don't have my early Wrigley weather report for tomorrow yet. So
All right.
I get my weather reports for all the ballparks every day. I
Yeah.
didn't get one for Wrigley in advance. It's usually the morning of. I don't believe any weatherman the day before anyway, in any situation anywhere. So I always have to, when you wake up in the morning, that's the first time you should ever check the weather.
I agree.
Never the day before.
Yeah, I don't
They're
check the
probably
weather app
lying
anymore
to
either.
you whenever you get to any of those situations. Mets win a game this weekend. How about that? There's a who you got for you. Who you got? Mets, Cubs this weekend. I won't even ask you, will they win 2 games? Will they win a game? Let's just keep it as simple as that.
I'll give them, the possibility to win one just because the Cubs aren't really that great a team.
Well, they're starting to play better.
Dude, they're in last place. I mean, but that whole division is awful.
They're 9-9.
Look at that division.
Eddie says a Rice with a bomb today at the stadium with the bullpen game. That's very possible.
Is he playing?
Yes, he's in the lineup.
Oh, that's good news.
He's in the lineup.
Booney
today,
put him in the
so
lineup. That's nice.
He's in the lineup.
Maybe I'll get in the car and go to the game now.
And everything looks very good for us there. And then the Mets will come home to play the Twins Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at Citi Field, and then the Rockies, and then the Nationals. there's light at the tunnel here for the end of this month for the Mets. Now, the Twins have been a lot better than people thought. People thought they were going to suck this year. The Twins have actually gotten out to a decent start. But when you get home from this weekend, you're talking a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game homestand against the Twins, the Rockies, and the Nationals. That is where the Mets season gets back on track, Paulie. Right there, those 9 games at home against those teams.
Hopefully. Or it could be an absolute disaster if it goes the other way.
Well, if it goes the other way, if they don't, let's say that 9-game stretch, they go like 3-6, Mendoza will be fired at the end of it. That'll finish it. When you get those 3 teams in your building for that length of time, that is like a 7-2. You got to go 7-2 with those 3 teams coming in. At home, long homestand. That's an absolute must. That's going to be the decider of where this Mets season is going to go.
May I talk to you about something? Maybe get your feelings on this.
You can always talk to me about whatever.
The interleague play.
Sure.
You know, we talk about baseball and all the different stuff that's been added and everything. What's your take on continuing this interleague play? I mean, granted, we get the Mets, the Subway season,
it's
Subway Series and everything, but I mean,
it's now
it seems
an everyday
like
part of life. So
there's more games now.
Well, they play every team now. So every year you play every team once, and other than your quote unquote rival, which like the Mets Yankees obviously is, so they play each other in each building. Every other team, let's say, we'll take the Yankees, for example. Every other National League team, they play them at once. Now, obviously, half of those are in the Bronx, half of those are on the road. And then wherever you are the next year, it flips. So if the Yankees were at Dodger Stadium last year, the Dodgers would come to Yankee Stadium this year. If the Yankees were in Colorado this year, next year they'd go to Colorado. They'd go to play them at Yankee Stadium. It just flips back and forth. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
But it's the way of the world.
It's a little too much.
Well, look, I mean, this is 30 years now of this.
I know.
This is not a new thing.
I know.
97 was the first year of interleague play. So 30th anniversary next year.
The Twins coming into Citi Fields. Like,
but this is what it is now. I don't like it. And you know what else it's taken away from? Less games against your division, less games against the rivals. And people hated it. They didn't like playing the rivals 18, 19 times a year. They'd rather have the Twins come in for 3 than play the Phillies 3 more times. So you get what you asked for.
We're not in the room where it happens.
They now call it balanced schedule.
Balanced schedule, yeah.
That's what it is. It's balanced scheduling. Everybody gets to that's the second day in a row you broke that out.
Yeah.
What was it for yesterday? I forget when you broke that out yesterday.
Forget what it was.
There you go.
Go back and look at the tape.
I say the Mets win a game this weekend.
Yeah, I do too.
That's as good as
they're playing the Cubbies.
Who
aren't that good.
The Cubs are a good team. Cubs are a good team.
Good, man. That whole division
just because they're 9-9 doesn't mean they're not a good team.
Here's the thing. I don't look. Yankee rants yesterday, and the feelings still stay the same as far as how I felt yesterday. But again, you look at the whole league. It's nobody's making a statement here, and everybody just
aside from the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, that's expected, but
Rays are out to first place in the East, 10-7. Rays have been hot. Rays have won 5 in a row. Looking to sweep the White Sox today.
Yeah, thanks to the Yanks.
A's are in first place at 10-8.
It's a nice young team.
Softball team.
It's a nice softball team.
Bashers.
Yeah.
Let's say, hey, they got to win games 9-8. That's the way the A's do it.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how things progress here into May.
It'll be fun.
So
Yankees and
Mendoza's
Mets
still here, and
big
Booney's
weekends. The Royals at the stadium and the Mets in Chicago.
Hey, look
for this.
Look who's on the screen, all happy and stuff. On the big
Is that
show.
Coach Mark?
Yeah, the big guy show.
Coach Mark.
All is forgiven.
Mark DeRosa, who will never manage Team USA in the World Baseball Classic again after the job he did this year, not even knowing the elimination scenario.
They like him.
Please. Can they get someone who's an actual manager to be the manager? How about that?
Mendoza might be.
Well, he is going to be available.
I don't know if he has American citizenship.
Well, just Yeah, but you see that all the time in soccer. I mean,
I know.
Ireland just had what the
Yes.
Iceland guy or whoever was their manager. Like,
Yeah.
remember the Italian guy
Maybe
also
that's
was
what the
there.
problem is. Why Ireland can't get to
Was there? Well, they can't find anyone from Ireland to be the head coach.
Ireland to coach and manage the team.
Well, they had Martin O'Neill for a while there, and he just couldn't
Bobby Charlton was
couldn't cross the
English,
line with
but
him
of Irish
either.
descent, I believe.
Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Why don't we, before I get to the NHL playoffs, the matchups, the who you got, some things for tonight, why don't you let everybody know what's going on at Borrelli's?
I sure will. Pal, cue the music.
Let's go.
All right, it's Thursday, so you know what that means here at Borrelli's. It's Carnivore Night. So for $42.99, coming down to Borrelli's this evening, located at 912 West Beach Street in Long Beach, on Long Island, here in New York, and you get a choice of veal, steak, or pork, super salad, and a dessert, bottomless beers, and endless wines, all for $42.99 Thursday nights here at Borrelli's. Carnivore Night. All right, the weekend is upon us, and that means live music is returning here to Borrelli's. And on Friday night, we have Ken Bailing, and then followed by DJ Frankie Sims tomorrow night. Free admission. And on Saturday, the Sean Jacoby Band is going to be here, full band here at Borrelli's, followed by DJ Tim Select in the evening. So we got the live music early, and then the dance party in the evening part of Friday and Saturday. All right, Sunday Fun Day has a lot of fun going on because the Knicks are on, and they're going to have the Knicks watch party here, and it starts 6 p.m. Sound will be on, and in and around the Knicks game, we're going to have live music by Dan Casey at 4 p.m., and then DJ Tim Select will close things out on Sunday Fun Day after the Knicks game. So come on down for that. Again, free admission, all kinds of specials, 2 for $1 pizzas, $1 wings, tons of bucket specials. Go to Borrelli's Taproom or go to the Instagram account at Borrelli's Long Beach or at Borrelli's Taproom, and you'll find all the specials there. Colin Quinn was here last night, sold out, part of the comedy series, the great comedy series, always rolling along.
He was
here
excellent.
Down at Borrelli's Taproom, and that means we got more shows coming up. In fact, I'll tell you the other 2 sold-out shows already, and that's David Tell on the 27th and Ben Bankus on the 21st. Already sold out already. So these shows are just announced, and that's James Freed on June 29th, Joe List on July 14th, and there are some tickets left for the Ian Finance show on April 29th. So you got to go to eventbrite.com, search Borrelli's Comedy, or go to Borrelli's.com and hit the events tab. So get your comedy tickets early because, as you just know, all the other shows, they just sell out too quick. So get on it, all right? Theme music nights return here on Wednesdays. Bruce Springsteen night starts here next April 22nd, the debut of Bruce Springsteen. Then I come down for all the Big Boss hits. Then May 6th, Billy Joel night returns. And then on May 20th, a special full band show with the U2 tribute band called New Year's Days. Now, on all these nights, there's a $21 dinner special and half-price bottle of wine and also drink specials and stuff. And that's free admission for all those music-themed nights. Again, April 22nd, Bruce Springsteen. May 2nd, Songs from an Italian Restaurant, Billy Joel night. And May 20th, U2 tribute. All live music, all live musicians. Come on down. Great performances and great specials. Saturday, April 18th, coming up is a great party bar night here featuring Lavish Life at 11 p.m. Let everybody know about that. And then just a heads up, too, the Country Fest is going to be here May 15th through the 17th, featuring real artists from Nashville, hosted by Long Island's own Anthony Gow. He'll be here hosting the damn thing, and he's also a great player, too, so come down for that as well. And that's pretty much it for right now. Just remember, all the Knicks games, all watch parties here at the Knicks. Sound will be on, and there will be 2 for $1 pizzas and $1 wings and tons of bucket specials. And that, Michael, is what's going on here at Borrelli's. And don't forget, anytime you come into Borrelli's, don't matter what time, no matter what day, mention the Carver and Cuthbert podcast, and you get a free Miller Lite draft to start your session right here at the big house at Borrelli's.
How about that? That is outstanding. I mean, you need a little bit of a little runway there to get through it all. But there's so many great things happening here. Did you mention the Nick watch party on Saturday?
I did.
That's just.
I mentioned it twice.
Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio. Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. All right, hockey. Now, before I get to, let's clean up some of the other stuff before I get to the who you got and the matchups and the first round and all of those things.
Do we know when the first round starts, Michael?
Well, you know what? Fine. We'll go there first. Why is it? And again, it's like I said to you yesterday. I defend Gary on a lot of things. He's done a lot of good for the league. He's done some bad things for the league too, but he's done a lot of good for the league. not knowing. I mean, the playoffs start in 48 hours. This is Thursday afternoon. Saturday is when they're supposed to start. And you know every matchup in the East for 2 days now. You know who's playing who. You even know where they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we not know what time the games are yet for Saturday? Like, why do we not
Arena
know this?
issues, maybe? I don't know. Concerts? I don't know.
Come on, Paul.
Figure
I mean,
skating?
the NBA, they're playing in the
Figure
same
skating?
arenas. Last Sunday, they had the whole
Savannah
schedule out for
Bananas
next
going
weekend, a
indoors?
week
I
in
don't know.
advance.
I don't know.
Well, why can't you tell people, like, the Flyers, the Penguins, Sabres, Bruins, all these teams, like, why?
If it's not a logistical thing, then is it a surprise?
And then I saw somebody say, today,
Or is it
well,
the NBA playoffs?
I don't think
and the
it
TV,
shouldn't have anything to do
streaming,
with that.
They got to
They
coordinate
know
that all that stuff.
ESPN and TNT have every night planned in terms of what windows they have and all of those things. So it's not that. It's just that there are still matchups in the West that are not decided, because tonight the West finishes, and Anaheim, Edmonton, and LA all play games that are involved with their potential seeding and who's going to play who and where those games will be. But so I get the West not being out. Why can't the Eastern Conference schedule be put out?
I guess they just don't want to announce the East until the West is done.
They say we do everything at once. We don't care. And everyone has to wait until
I guess tonight is the
1
final
a.m.
night
tonight,
of the season. So
everything
will be announced tomorrow morning.
When the LA Calgary game ends at midnight tonight, that's
Yes.
when you'll get your schedule.
No, not till tomorrow. Probably 10 o'clock.
I would say tonight. They'll do it after
You
the
think
games
so?
are over tonight. They already have it, and they're just being
Or it'll be leaked.
mean to everybody
Mean.
and not. Well, I would like to know what's the schedule.
I'm not upset.
When are the games? I want to see Buffalo Boston game 1. I want to see with that game on Saturday if that's the case.
We'll just clear the schedule, and
I'm going to be betting the Flyers to beat the Penguins in this series. I want to know when game 1 is. I want to be able to get involved with that.
You know, Tommy doesn't think his Flyers are going to beat the Penguins.
Tommy's wrong. Flyers are the hottest team going in right now, and they're going to beat the Penguins in round number 1.
I think so too.
I like the Flyers.
I love Sid the Kid.
All right, we're not at who you got yet.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
All right, we're not there yet. Give me a moment
I apologize.
for us here, because there's a few things I need.
It's just
little,
so nice out.
Little housekeeping. Matthew Darsh spent 30 minutes with the media yesterday at the end of the Islander season. Really, the main thing that I will say that he brought up is he obviously defended all the moves that he made. He said, quote, "Whether people agree with me or not, it helped the team or not, that's everybody's prerogative, and that's fine. Whether it worked out, I guess we were not in the playoffs, so it didn't all work out. I don't think it's because of these deals, but I felt at that moment it improved the team, and the way we played after those acquisitions showed it." He noted that the Islanders won 4 or 5 after the deadline. And they played the Leafs, Sharks, the Blues, and somebody else. They played like 4 awful teams after the deadline. He could say all that and try to cover his tracks and do it all. I stand by what I said yesterday, even after listening to him. He had a bad first year as the general manager of the Islanders. He did a bad job this year. He overplayed his hand in February and March at the deadline with the moves that he made. He gave up some assets. Look,
to his defense,
I wouldn't have
there wasn't a lot available. There weren't like a
ton
of great trades made.
But he needed to gauge that he made moves that you make if you are guaranteed to be in the playoffs, and those moves can help you win more rounds. They didn't even get there, which means it was a real failure. Like, they did just a poor job. There were some moves he obviously made. Druin was a miss. He ends up going away there. There were things that were amiss with him. He's got a lot of work to do this offseason. That's kind of where I'm going to put it. And he sat there yesterday and he said all the right things. The Anders Lee, we're going to sit down and we'll see how it all looks. I think he has shown me at least that he's going to try to be super aggressive. I think the organization wants him to be super aggressive. And I look at that from the Patrick Waugh move, firing him with 4 games left. I think that you will see some super aggressiveness from him and the organization this offseason.
Aggressive to do what?
It's funny.
Cultivate the farm.
Well, it's
system,
funny.
bring the kids up because there's not a lot available
I think
on
that
the market.
I think that they think that this should have been a playoff team, and judging by how they played October through February, it should have been. I know I said this to you yesterday, and it's really funny because afterwards I said it to you, and I said, let me just look around. Has anyone else brought this up and thought that it could be a possibility? And there actually has been some people who have said, maybe watch Barzell this offseason. And that might be a move to try to shake it up, as you always like to say. Shake it up. It's a very, now I wouldn't be selling him. I would be, what's the return? I would be open to it, Paulie. How about that? And I also would be open to him staying. I don't think that he's done a bad job since he's been here. Some people get on him. He doesn't shoot enough. He's a very, very good player. He's not one of the 15, 20 elite players in the league, like their 18-year-old defenseman has already become, but he's still a very, very good player in this league. I would need an appropriate return, but I would consider it. And I think that could be the carrot that maybe you see in the offseason with him. But he's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of briefly looking at available free agents in July here. And
it ain't great.
There's no way I see Buffalo letting Tuck go.
There's no way what?
Buffalo lets Alex Tuch go.
Oh, for Tuck? Yeah,
Bobrovsky's not even a consideration. Ovechkin's not going anywhere. Darren Radish. Rasmus.
Forget
Anderson.
about all. That's not where it's going to be. They're not signing players like that. They're not any free agent there. That's not their avenue.
So I guess I'm only just toying around with that because when you say he's got to be aggressive,
I think that's
there's not a lot out there
with what he has in terms of trading pieces and moving things around. I think you're going to see them be that.
Who are you trading with? What are you getting back?
Well, that's a thing. Look, that's a bridge that'll get crossed when you get there, when the season's over and you get closer to the draft. That's when you have those discussions. Not yet. Your playoffs are starting. You got 16 teams that are still in the mix here, that have their eyes on something else.
Okay. Well, look, there's no doubt that the Islanders have to get to the playoffs. Have to get to the playoffs.
They're the way that they have treated this season makes me that they expect to do those things the way that they have treated this season so far. And that's okay.
It's going to be hard next year.
And I do believe I agree with you. I think it is going to be hard, but that's how they've treated these last couple of weeks. Don't fire a coach and bring in and pay a guy what they paid DeBoer if you don't think that's not to rebuild. That's not to be good in 2 years or 3 years. That is to win now. All of those things that they did. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, Paulie.
Yeah.
Look, I'll give him. Here's another thing I'll tip the hat to him for. Lou would make you wait like 3 weeks before he would talk to the media after the season. At least the guy was out there the day after the season was over and he talked to everybody.
This is one thing a lot of the fans talked about, and I think you could look at it from an outsider, being an NHL fan, and especially here in New York, there was a lot more offered up to the fans this year as far as behind the scenes, openness, transparency, communications, and everything.
There's a ton more.
It was a little bit of a breath of fresh air. And so I guess that, bodes well for the fans in the future, and we'll just have to see what happens, man.
You will have to see what happens.
At least you know who your coach is.
Very interesting offseason ahead for them.
For the next foreseeable couple of years, and we'll see what DeBoer can do here.
Next,
didn't really turn any magic here in the last 4 games. Not that he had to, but
I can't get on him for the last 4 games. That's an impossible.
They got
spot.
shut out twice, right?
Oh, that would be the thing that I would be concerned about is
power play was useless.
The offensive philosophy. But at least he said that after the last game. It's like, our power play is a disaster. We need to fix this in the offseason.
He had 4 days. He had 4 days.
He had 4 days to fix a lot of problems, and that's just not enough time to do that. And now he has an entire offseason to go and do those things. Let me ask you this before we get to the matchups. Whose post-game, end of the season, last game of the season press conference did you like more? Did you like Bones with Columbus, who was that's as good as it gets. The stuff that he was giving you. Basically calling your team gutless, and and they played that way during the last 10 games of the season. I thought it was better, but some people have put what McClellan did last night after the Red Wings lost 8-1 to the Panthers, who hadn't won a game in 2 months. There, I didn't think that McClellan was as aggressive as Bones was after the Columbus game. but he still was basically calling him gutless, just not as openly as Bones was.
How does McClellan keep getting work? I don't understand.
People think that he's a good coach.
I don't understand how he keeps getting work. So that 8-1 loss, that blowout, I mean, that's just, you might have two teams sending a message here to the organization, even though Bonus came in and we all loved it. He took over and they did very well. But, you know, hearing his press conference, how he was basically buried, how did that team just go from a team that he was just the winning streaks when they came out of the gate? He loved these guys, loved being back of the eyes. It was awesome. And then all of a sudden, he was talking to them. It's like they were the worst players in the world. They have no heart. They don't want to win. They don't want to sacrifice. And you know, they talked about the checks that, you know, they had like 6 checks or something, and they gave away the puck like 23 times. Like he was burying them, Bonus, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a very soap opera, dramatic movie type of thing, you know, and everything. And he's not even. We don't even know if he's going to be the returning coach. And stuff
that's
like that.
actually slated for this afternoon. Him and Waddell are meeting the media together at like 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I think Waddell's got to kind of maybe gauge the temperature of the room first. Now, I know there's a lot of young guys on that team, but I don't know if I love Bonus. Don't get me wrong, I really do.
He's hard on kids, you know. I think
Waddell's got to check the temperature of that room, sit back, and take a deep breath before he turns around and gives Bonus the full gig here. Now,
I don't think he'll be the coach next year.
McClellan on the side.
He will be the coach next year.
That team laid down last night. They're done with him.
They've laid down for weeks.
Exactly.
They were top 3 in the Atlantic. They were like the Island. They played great till the Olympic break. Came out of the Olympic break, and they were never the same team for whatever reason.
Now, I don't know where they were injury-wise. I didn't hear a lot of talk about them losing main guys to injuries or whatever.
They completely folded.
It's a talented team.
Yeah.
It's talented.
And look, and you know, Iserman took that job.
Damn.
Coming from Tampa, where he did so, and he was looked at as he was going to be the miracle worker there, and get Detroit back to Hockey Town and back to play. And it has been a 0, and it's and this is the hard thing.
No playoffs at all under him, right?
No.
None.
And this is the hard thing, Paulie, about putting a guy like Iserman, who had so much success as a player and so much history. And this is why I think it's a great thing that the Rangers never gave Messier the reins of the Rangers, even though there's times that he's wanted it. And this is a reason why I never want the Yankees to hire Don Mattingly as a manager. When you have a guy who's such an icon for your organization, and you put him in a management position and it goes bad, you hurt the legacy of the player that is so beloved. And I don't know, I'm not in Detroit. I don't know if that's happening yet with Iserman. I'm not sure. But when he was there, Paulie, I mean, they were celebrating in the streets like they were guaranteed to be going back to Stanley Cup Finals. And it hasn't happened so far.
Yeah, Iserman also played on some. He wasn't the only mega superstar.
Like, how would you feel if Mess came and did an awful job with the Rangers?
Well, it's an interesting discussion. You know, you take a guy like Joe Sakic and the success he's had in Colorado,
and he's done,
right?
and they've done it.
And I'm trying to, as you're talking about, I'm trying to think of a handful of teams in the NHL.
And there's guys who have had good success with it.
Well, there's been obviously ton of former players have become great GMs and success. I think what you're saying as far as an icon, like a mega star from the organization. I compare Iserman to Messi. I think you're right. You're right there. Messi are getting the job. I don't think it's ever going to happen with Messi if it hasn't happened yet. And I got to tell you, through all the talk of Messi coming in, whether
it's never happening now.
Yeah, but even in the past, whether it's a coach or whether it's a front office guy or whatever, I don't know what it was. I just never felt. I don't know if that's really a great idea. But a lot of people would just say right now he'd be 10 times better than what Drury's doing. You know, but
and this qualifies Paulie for all sports, because I'll give you another one where it didn't go well. Elway in Denver with the Broncos.
Yeah,
you know, it just never worked out. He ran at the end, then he left, and they went and won another Super. So it's just, but they've gotten good again here with Sean Payton coming in.
Magic Johnson has done very well. He's been successful.
He's. But this is what I'm talking about: the iconic player for your franchise, and you give him a chance to run the team from a management, and it doesn't go well. It's tough on the fan base because they have so much love for the guy, but he's doing a poor job as the GM.
I
He's
mean, we
doing
don't
a poor
have time
job
to
as the
really look at it
president.
now. The other thing too is how long has McClellan been there? How many coaches have played
Well,
for?
right. Well, he's had a bunch of hires already.
So
They've just
the
not
Wings haven't been good since Babcock was coaching the team.
correct.
So, but getting back to McClellan, I don't get the, there's, Torts gets the job, DeBoer gets the job, this whole thing. Now, this has been going on for a long, long time.
Yes.
As far as like this, the same pool of 10, 11 coaches that just, goes, when we used to joke with Boudreaux, if somebody got fired, if Boudreaux's available, he's going to get the gig, right?
Yeah.
And then so many guys just get to McClellan's one of these guys. He went from Edmonton to LA, you got obviously Torts now, DeBoer. There's a couple other coaches I'm forgetting about right now.
No, you're right. You're right.
Bednar's been one of the bright spots, taking over Colorado, a young guy.
He got hit with a puck or something. His face got all banged up, Bednar.
Yeah.
Couldn't go on the road and
he's
make this last road trip.
Great coach. I'd like to see more young coaches come in the league and get an opportunity like that. We'll see what happens. There's one guy they're talking about. I know the guy's been interviewed, but it's got to be like a certain great deal. But is that guy Carl who coaches the Denver college team that just won the national championship?
Oh, okay.
He's won 3 with them.
Wow.
And he won, I think, 2 junior championships with the U.S. team, I believe.
Okay.
And every NHL team wants him, but the guy, he really doesn't. He knows the NHL game. And I think he actually said this publicly in interviews that he's got it so good in Denver. He has really no interest in going up to the NHL level because he feels if once you get into that grind, you see all these other coaches just getting spit out, turned over and stuff.
It's brutal. Whereas you got a job for life if you stay at Denver. I mean, that's your job forever. You've had so much success.
He's a winner.
And I said this to you when Signetti won at Indiana. Why the hell would Signetti ever leave Indiana?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why would he go to the NFL? He's a god in Bloomington for the rest of his life.
Yep.
He can go 6-6 every year for the rest of his life. Winning this year, they're going to put a statue up of him outside that stadium. And they're making huge money.
Similar contracts, if not more.
Okay. And Eddie in the chat box, still remember that Yzerman goal against the Blues. Who does? That was such a great goal, that overtime goal. Columbus deserves a better NHL team than what we've had in 25 years. The fans still support a team that always underachieve. He's right about that. The Blue Jackets have never had. I mean, look, the year they swept the Lightning was a big deal. The first year they made it with Nash was on the team. They have small moments, but they have never had a significant team make a deep run in the playoffs. Like they've never had any of that stuff. Like even the Wild, like they've had it in their early goings, had a Western Conference final run. They've had giving their fans at least some moments. Columbus doesn't have many.
Yeah, and it's a tough market. They've had their trouble keeping good free agents. Seth
but he's
Jones
right.
has been there.
The people show up. I mean, they
It's a
show
good
up in
hockey-
Columbus, and it's a good hockey town.
Ohio's just a great sports state.
Yes.
I mean, it's good stuff. One guy you were talking about the Red Wings real quick. The one guy I missed so much from the NHL is Pavel Datsyuk.
Yeah, he was great. Great player. All right, who you got? NHL playoffs, first round.
All right, let's have some fun here.
All right,
Good.
Penguins, Flyers.
You know what? I'm gonna take the Flyers here, just because I think there's a lot of momentum, a lot of fun. I'm excited for Taka behind the bench. I've liked what they've done. I think it's going to go 6 or 7. I don't think it's going to be one team's going to knock the other team out. I love Sid the Kid. He's such a great player for the sport, and him and Malkin. But I think these Flyers muck it up a little bit, and I think they come out in the end.
I think this comes down to one thing for me. The Flyers, you can make a case, are one of, if not the hottest team coming into the playoffs. The rally that they had, they were dead a month ago. And how they've played to get into this position.
Dead for years.
But look at what they did? They thought they were out of it. They bring this Martone kid in. He's outstanding. Vladar played great between the pipes. They're the hot team right now. And maybe sometimes that you use too much to get in, and sometimes that goes. But they'll be up for this. This is a rivalry. You get Penguins Flyers in the first round. And I know Crosby, and he's up there on the big guy show right now. Look at Sid with the big smile on his face, getting ready for the Flyers. And he don't got too many turns left at this. I think the Flyers have an edge between the pipes with the way Vladar's playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they got that little extra magic right now. Tocchet playing against the Penguins. I love the Flyers right now, especially as a dog. I think it's, they're plus 140 dogs in this series, which I just think is way too much.
Penguins
for us.
home ice.
Penguins have home ice in the series, yes. So
Philly
game
goes in
one
there,
at the
steals
PPG.
one. They just need still 1 or 2, and Philly's gonna be rocking.
I got Flyers in 7. Great series.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go that long, but I'll just make sure. I'll say Flyers in 6.
Lightning Canadians.
It's very hard for me to bet against Coop and Kucherov and Vasilevsky. It really, really
It's
is.
very tough to do.
It really, really is. I love what Marty St. Louis and that young team, Caulfield, Suzuki, what they've done in Montreal. It's great to see the success come back to Montreal, to see the form rocking. And I think that's
I'll tell you, I'll put it to you this way. I think this is another step for Montreal,
yeah.
and they're going to learn a lesson in this series. And I would bet you that it serves them well next year when they're an even better team than they were this year. I think that Montreal is ascending, and I think that playing the more experienced kind of playoff Grizzly team here, they're probably going to lose like a tough 6-7 game series to them. And I think Montreal will be one of the best teams in the East next year. That's kind of where I'm at with them. I think Tampa gets them, but Montreal plays well and learns some lessons that will serve them well in the future. I think they're a year early. I think next year is when Montreal could be a serious player to make the Stanley Cup Finals.
Finals, huh?
Yeah. Now we have listen. Obviously, a lot can happen in the offseason, but I like the way they're young talent. I like the guys that they have.
I'm gonna go with the Bolts in 5.
Oh, I'm not. No, not that. This is gonna be tough for them. This is 6. I'm going Bolts in 6.
Well,
they're gonna push them.
I'm gonna go with the Bolts in 5, but I'm gonna sit here and be happily surprised if the Habs do win the series, and it might be able to happen because they do have a lot of offensive weapons that they haven't had in the past. So
Yeah.
St. Louis can mix up the line, so there's more of attack here. So, and we have some older players here in Tampa Bay. A lot of miles on skid, Hedman and all these guys too. So I think they'll handle it. I hope it's a good series. I think it will be. But I'm gonna stick with the Bolts in 5 with the experience and Vasilevsky in the pipes.
Do you give the Sens any shot against the Hurricanes in the first round?
I want the Sens to win this in like 6 games, maybe 7 in Carolina's building.
Now,
Let's
Carolina,
go, Brady and the boys.
Carolina obviously has had a problem the last 6 years. They never get it done in the playoffs. But it's not like they lose in the first round every year. They usually beat teams that they are better than. And I consider them better than Ottawa. And as fun as Ottawa has been, I can't do it. I think it's Carolina. Carolina's going to win the series.
And I agree with you. I would love to see Ottawa beat them.
Oh, I would too.
But
But
I
don't.
watched that Ottawa on the game the other night. Ottawa's not a good hockey team. Sorry, they're not a good hockey team. And Brenda Moore's got a very well constructed, well balanced, excellent defensive team. Got a lot of scoring up front. I think they probably even sweep the Sens.
Sweep, huh?
Yeah.
I was going to say 5. I got Carolina in 5.
Yeah,
Carolina in 5 for me.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Sens prove me wrong.
And the fourth matchup in the East, classic Adams division throwback. First time in the playoffs in 15 years for the Buffalo Sabres. Key Bank's going to be, whenever they play the game this weekend, who knows when that's going to be. Key Bank's going to be rocking for the first Sabre playoff game in 15 years. And they're playing the rival Bruins in the first round. Sabres are minus 178 favorite for the series. And they have been, Paulie, say it is true. You could say it's Colorado, but Sabres have been the best team in hockey since December 1st. They have. Does that carry over? And they play the same and take care of business in the playoffs? Or is there going to be a little bit of happy to be here stuff, like they achieved a lot just by getting here? I think they beat the Bruins in 7.
7.
Oh, I think this is going to be a really good series.
Yeah. I tell you what, after what happened at the end of last year, I guess what would you say 2 years now, right? And to listen, Brad Marchand, him leaving the Bruins, all that stuff. It looked really bad for Boston.
Yeah, and they've gotten back quick.
Yeah,
they've gotten
really
back quick.
Impressed with
very quick.
The Bruins season this year, looking good. Buffalo is definitely not. This is not a happy with our success this year and happy to be here in the playoffs. I think Buffalo has a great series against the Bruins. And yeah, I do hope it goes long, but I'm going to take the
Sabres in 7.
No, I'm going to take the Sabres in 5.
Wow, that's the little.
No, I just think
all right.
there's something special happening in Buffalo, man. And I have a lot of respect for the Bruins, McAvoy, Long Beach's own McAvoy here, Charlie playing, all that stuff. But
2 matchups are set in the West. Stars and Wild in the first round.
You're just moving on from my pick there, huh?
I've got.
You think
I've
I'm
got-
crazy, huh?
I've got like 10 minutes to get all this stuff in. All right, I'm running out of time. Like the clock is just burning on me right here as I try to get everything in. Stars and Wild in the first round. Both teams incredible all season long. Stars with a lot more playoff experience than the Wild. Or in terms of winning. The Wild obviously have made the playoffs every year. They never win.
Stars in 5, bigger, stronger, better than the Nets. Thank you.
And you're giving these teams no respect. I think all these series are going to be short. This is the first round of the NHL playoffs.
Minnie's got a very talented team.
There is
they're
always
all little guys. They're
fun
all
and
little-
chaos in
little
6 and
guys.
7 game series. And you got all these series ended in 5 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not there for that. Stars in 7.
Stars in 5.
Okay. Now this is like the Paul Cuthbert series. Like this is a series that if you could have drawn it up, what would he wish for? It would be Vegas, Utah playing each other. I don't know, travel. They're a little close to each other too. Good series for travel.
You gotta love Utah coming into
You got
the league.
Torts.
This makes this Vegas, Colorado thing awesome. It's
Torts. Only 1 loss since he's been taken over behind the bench for Vegas. They've won the Pacific Division. They're going to have home ice in the bottom end of that bracket, and they will not have to see Colorado, Dallas, or Minnesota until the Western Conference Finals.
Torts has stepped in a little poop here.
Now, this is the one where I'll go the other way. Vegas in 5. I think Vegas takes care of Utah.
I think Vegas sweeps them.
So we're both on Vegas,
Yeah.
and we both think they take care of business.
Yes.
Now, the other 2 matchups are dependent on what happens this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Anaheim, Edmonton, and the Kings are all playing tonight. If everyone wins and it holds form, Edmonton, Anaheim, Kings, Colorado. I think it's going to mostly hold form tonight. I think the only thing that might change, and I mean, Edmonton's playing Vancouver tonight. Are they going to lose to Vancouver I don't believe that. And I want the Kings to lose because they don't deserve to be in the top 3. They've got like 600 overtime losses this year. They deserve to play Colorado in the first round. And they deserve to get smashed by Colorado in the first round,
Yes.
which I think what will happen.
Yes.
I think the Ducks Colorado could be a little fun in terms of crazy 8-5 games, but the Colorado would still kill them. I want Ducks Oilers because I think those would be crazy 7-6 games that Anaheim can win in the first round. I think that'd be a fun series, Edmonton and Anaheim. So I'm rooting for that. And Edmonton, Anaheim, and then Colorado to crush the Kings in the other one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I got to tip the hat to the Ducks getting in. A lot of changes the Ducks went through the last couple of seasons, even, losing a star whiz kid Zebras, and stuff like that. And he's on Philly now too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's obviously the controversy with Coach Q coming back. But they're in. And I like, as the playoffs have kind of settled out here, I think we got again just a great first round matchups, despite no New York tri-state area teams being in it. So we'll all be watching.
Eddie in the chat box says Sabres to win the Cup and Bills to win the Super Bowl. The Buffalo parlay, that would be 200 to 1 if you wanted to play that.
Put it in. Go for it.
It's a Happy Meal $10 bet wins you 2,000 if it comes through.
I'll do it.
A Happy Meal
I like
bet
that.
for
Why
them.
not?
NHL playoffs, the best time of the year, starting this weekend.
We don't go around on this rock once, so put it in the parlay. Let's go.
Put in the parlay. That's what I like to hear that from you. A little gambling term from you. Put in the parlay. I like that. Get a little gambling mix in.
Get me some
From
apps
here.
so
All
I
right.
know how to use it.
Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio. Here live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. We only have a few minutes left. So before I give you the NBA preview, why don't you tell us one more time everything that's going to be going on at Borrelli's, including a watch party for the Knicks this weekend.
Once again, we are broadcasting live from Borrelli's Taproom every Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. Sports lunch, 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming down 912 West Beach Street here in Long Beach in New York, baby. So it's Thursday. That means it's carnivore night. Take care, ladies. Thanks for hanging out for lunch. And that means for $42.99, you come down to Borrelli's tonight and you get a choice of pork, steak, or veal, super salad, and a dessert, bottomless beers, and endless wines, all for $42.99 right here at Borrelli's. And the food here is dynamite, so get down here. All right, the weekend is upon us. That means the live music returns to Borrelli's. Tomorrow night, Ken Bailey is here at 7 p.m. And then DJ Frankie Sims closes out the Friday night dance party here at Borrelli's after Ken is finished up somewhere around 10, 11 o'clock there. On Saturday, the Sean Jacoby Band, full band here on Saturday. They will be here at 7 o'clock as well. And then DJ Tim Select closes out the night for the Saturday night dance party here at Borrelli's on Saturday. Now, Sunday Fun Day is every Sunday here at Borrelli's Taproom. Special this week because the Knicks are back into the playoffs here, and we're going to have a watch party here starting at 6 p.m., okay? And there'll be a DJ after that as well, too, DJ Tim Select. And Dan Casey's going to be playing live here on Sunday. So the sound will be on during the game. And in and around the game, the quarters and the halves and stuff like that, we will have live music and DJ here on Sunday Fun Day. Live music Wednesdays. That's the theme nights we have down here at Borrelli's. Returns next week. April 22nd is the debut of Bruce Springsteen nights, coming down for the best hits from the boss. $21 food special and half-price bottles of wine. And that also continues when the Billy Joel night returns. Songs from Italian wrestling here. Best of Billy Joel. Same thing. $21 pasta dinner special. Half-price bottles of wine. And then on May 20th, the YouTube band New Year's Days will be here doing a special electric acoustic unplugged night of U2 hits. So come on down. Free admission for all those Wednesday theme nights. Saturday, April 18th is the Lavish Life Party Barn party here at 11 p.m. Special presentation by the guys from Lavish Life. It's an amazing DJ dance night. So come on down for that Lavish Life Party Barn on the 18th. Country Fest, debut of Country Fest here, featuring Nashville artists, all Nashville artists coming up from Nashville to play here at Borrelli's all weekend long, May 15th through the 17th, hosted by Long Island's own Anthony Gal.
Country Fest.
Yes, baby. Get on down for that. And just to let everybody know, if you like comedy, Borrelli's is the best place, but you got to get your tickets quick. Colin Klum was here last night. He sold out. David Tell is here on the 27th, and Ben Bank is here on the 21st, and those shows are sold out. A few tickets left for Ian Finance here on April 29th. Just announced James Freed on June 29th, and Joe List is going to be here on July 14th. Again, go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com or Eventbrite.com and search Borrelli's Comedy. And the last thing to remind everybody, like I said, the Knicks games, 2-for-1 pizzas, dollar wings, sound on, come down, support the Knicks, and start your day or day. Walk in here, mention the Carver and Cuthbert podcast, and get a free Miller Lite draft to get your session going. And that's what's happening here at Borrelli's, Mike.
There you go. Great job, Paulie. And speaking of the Knicks, of course, you mentioned Saturday night, I guess you could say. They play game one against the Hawks. That's where I'll go here with the NBA. First of all, again, the playing games last night, the first one was the Sixers beating the Magic. But you got an all-time performance, and you don't have many more of them left because he's obviously getting towards the end. Steph Curry with 35 points for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
After they told you all day, he's on a minutes restriction, he's on all this. He was vintage, like Warriors winning NBA Finals. Steph Curry stuck the knife in the Clippers, down 10 with like 4 minutes to go and come roaring back. And like those classic Steph threes from the middle of nowhere and all. Just an incredible throwback performance from Steph Curry last night. And like I said to you at the beginning of the show, the Clippers will always clipper. It is amazing how they can just never get it done, even in a spot like that. So 2 more playing games tomorrow night for the last 2 spots. So the Warriors now will play the Suns tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of that will play Oklahoma City in the first round. Not easy. And then the Hornets will play the Magic tomorrow night as well. The winner of that will play the Pistons in the first round. As I was telling you yesterday, Hornets kind of like the Sabres of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, huge rally January on. One of the best teams in the NBA, played great. The Magic have been so lifeless and dead. And, I mean, you don't see this very often in a playing. Hornets are road favorites in Orlando tomorrow night to go and take them down. And I hope they do, because I think Hornets and Pistons would be a fun first-round series. And for a 1-8, and I'm going to tell you, like, these, like, betting odds for these series in the NBA, I mean, it's nothing like the NHL. NHL, it's, minus 150, minus. I mean, it's close. Like you actually can think that the dog can actually win. The NBA, they're giving these teams no shot, these dogs, to win these series, which is typical of the first round of the NBA playoffs. But I think the Hornets would give the Pistons. They wouldn't beat them in 7, but I think they'd give them some fun push, some crazy games, tons of threes, and at least make them work a little bit in the first round, which is what you want to see in the playoffs. So Knicks Hawks on Saturday. The Knicks actually, in terms of series price, they are the shortest favorite out of any of the other favorites in the series. And I mean, look, they're still they're minus 235 to win the series. But the other ones are all like minus 1,000, minus 900, minus. So this is tough for the Knicks. This is not going to be easy against the Hawks. They're going to win this series. But the Hawks have been really good since January. They've been one of the best teams in the NBA. They won 18 out of 20 at one point. Ever since they traded Trae Young, which is like the best thing they ever did, it made them play as a team, and they've got so many guys. I think they're going to give the Knicks a serious push. And here's one thing they do very well also, Paulie, that could cause the Knicks problems. They are very good turning the ball over, getting on the defensive side, and the Knicks struggle against teams like that. So I think this is 6 games, like maybe even 7. I think the Knicks win, but I think the Hawks, this was the worst team they could have played in the first. They would have smashed Toronto. I think they would have smashed Orlando. Getting the Hawks in the first round is going to be challenging for them, and they're going to get pushed like Detroit pushed them last year in the first round.
Well, I like that they're playing the Hawks because, this is you want this. You want, maybe it's not a gimme series. It's a series you're going to have to work hard for, and it's going to set you up for the next round and for further down the road. So I agree with you, given utmost respect to how the Hawks have played and the type of team that they are. And specifically what you said, as far as the defensive trouble they'll give the Knicks.
The Knicks struggle with good defensive teams.
Yeah.
Like they just do. And like I was telling you yesterday, they got a problem. When Cat and Brunson are on the floor together, they are poor defensively when those two guys are there. And it's not something you can really fix because they're your two highest paid best players. You want to have them out there. And this Hawk team is spunky, man. They've got some good guys who defend, and they've got guys who can make shots. And
But at the end of the day, I think Brunson and the boys show time at the Garden. They're going to show up.
At the end of the day, Brunson is still the best player in this series, and in the NBA, especially in the first round, that's usually enough to get you home.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect them to do that. And the Knicks, if they do, the Knicks would play the winner of the Celtics 76er series. And just to give you, like, the Celtics are like minus 1,000 favorites to win this series. The Sixers won last night. They'll play Boston in the first round. Like, to be fair, like, we went through all these NHL series. Like, you can make a case for everybody in each one. Like, I cannot make you a case whatsoever that the Sixers beat Boston. I can only maybe make you a case Toronto could beat Cleveland because they swept them in the regular season. Toronto beat Cleveland all 3 times. But that doesn't really always translate to the playoffs. So, I mean, I would have to look at those games like, it's the NBA. Who sat in all those games? Who played? Who did it? There's a lot of things that you kind of got to digest with it. Cleveland's probably going to win. And even though, as much as I say I want Charlotte to win, Detroit will probably beat them. Detroit will beat them in the first round. In the NBA, Paulie, the big dogs rise, and especially in the first round, and they win. In the West, unless you got a comment about anybody else in the East.
No, the only thing I was just thinking there was what your take would be is if the Knicks had to end up playing the Hornets in the first round.
I think they would have been in trouble.
Okay.
To be quite honest with you,
because
they played the Hornets twice down the stretch, and again, it's not so much like there's 2 types of teams I think the Knicks have the hardest time with. One is the type of team Atlanta is that is really good defensively and causes a lot of turnovers. And the other is a team like Charlotte that is a run and gun, makes tons of threes, and can kind of overwhelm you with that stuff. Now, the Knicks have a lot more talent than both of those teams. If you're looking at the stat sheet, and what they get paid and all of those things, but that doesn't always win.
Yeah.
And in the West, like, it's kind of the same story for you, Paulie. Like, San Antonio's not going to lose to Portland. Oklahoma City's not going to lose to whoever wins that Sun Warrior game tomorrow night. The Lakers, Houston is interesting only because now the Houston's huge favorites, Luka obviously has been out for the last few weeks. He went to Europe to get some kind of treatment. Is he going to appear out of nowhere at some point in the series and play? LeBron's obviously 41 years old at this point. He's not enough to do it himself. But I don't think they're going to get whacked. I don't trust Houston enough to do that. So I think the Houston-Lakers series could be interesting, and the NBA wants it to be interesting. They've given them the most rest between games because they know they want LeBron as healthy as possible in all those games. So that Houston wins, but it could be close. And Minnesota-Denver, Denver will win. They're a big favorite.
Yeah, still a good team.
There you go. You got the NBA in, too, for you. Main thing is Knicks-Hawks here on Saturday, game number 1.
It's all Knicks.
That's
for us.
what matters.
All of us here in New York. You know, it's all Knicks. I mean, you when we had BT on the show, you guys had a great discussion about how in New York, if there's one team, 2 teams actually, that everybody here in New York gets behind.
Well, we were here for the BT day that day, yeah, when the Knicks played the
Knicks
Lakers.
and St. John. So,
well, everyone gets behind the Knicks.
and now the fact that we have no
That's very
hockey
true.
teams in the dances, Knicks is pretty much all we got right now.
That's precisely all you got.
Yeah.
Because you're not in on the Yankees about to start with the Angels coming up here in a couple minutes. I know you have much you're in on the Yankees right now. So good sports weekend for you, Paulie. We're back next week, Wednesday and Thursday, noon East. Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Again, Nick Party, tons of other stuff, as Paulie mentioned, coming up. And next week, Yankees Red Sox for you, which is always fun. And we will be in the middle. We'll actually know when the NHL playoff games are next week. And
Yes.
I know I didn't get to a lot of it the last 2 days,
The NFL draft.
but I already promise you, Wednesday and Thursday next week, I've already even talked to, my guy Joe Lees, who's a big NFL draft guru. He's going to come on
Awesome.
before the draft next week. We got a lot of draft on Wednesday and Thursday next week because the Jets and Giants obviously probably have big nights ahead. Big night ahead on Thursday night for the draft. So I promise you we will do all of that next week when we get there, along with Nick playoff games and the NHL playoffs here. All right, Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you back here next week.